Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're going to look at the maps featured in Gundam Battle Operation 2 and kind of figure out maybe where they belong within the UC canon stories and timelines. So yeah, let's jump in. All right, one of the first maps here, Impact Site. Now I'm using various sources, Wiki, Reddit, and Talos Mobius. Shout out to Talos Mobius, linked below. He is the GBO2 professional. So I got with him to see if he can kind of help me build this out. So as we go here, keep that in mind. He is the pro. So this is Impact Site, Crash Site with Zanzibar wreckage. This is original, but could it be from something in particular? Makes me think of that scene in Unicorn where you see that ship kind of crashed, or not crashed, but just kind of like settling, used as a base on the side of a mountain. Okay, here we got Port Base. So this is a naval port with aircraft carrier. This is from Blue Destiny. The game Blue Destiny, obviously there's a manga too. And this is considered California base. Okay, tropical desert, generic desert setting with water features. Now, this could be just generic, but there's a lot here that seems like it's inspired from Double Zeta Gundam. Deserted city, urban ruins. This is original, but in fact, you could probably say that this is from certain areas, potentially within some Gundam lore. Could be Unicorn, could be Zeta, just anytime there's like an urban setting. But anything stand out for you of where this could be in UC? Okay, this is Mountain. Unique name, huh? Rocky hills and ridges, something that is also original. But could you see this being from something? Could this be certain battles where maybe it was right before where mobile suits would unload and head to? We've got City Ruins. Now, this is an interesting one. This is based on Seattle from the original Mobile Suit Gundam. This is where Garma Zabi has died. And you see this portrayed in other games. I think Journey for Jaburo also does a good job with this. Or is it Encounters in Space? I think it's Journey to Jaburo. I don't know. Okay, Arctic Base, another cool one that you might possibly recognize. So type it in below before I say it, but then how would I know? Anyway, this is actually inspired by the raid from Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. If you remember the very beginning of that series, an awesome fight scene with the High Gog there. Very cool stuff. And, you know, it was just reminding me, the other cool feature in Gundam Battle Operation 2 is the soundtrack feature they added, where, yeah, you can buy additional tracks, but you can set soundtracks. And so if I'm playing a map and if it's not situation battle, I can pick a suit that would be part of that little skirmish that happened in War in the Pocket, and you can choose what music you want to play for that. I think that kind of helps you set a vibe, which is pretty fun. Okay, we've got Jungle. Dense jungle with river trench, although this does call out Jaburo. There's a lot here that reflect what could be from Jaburo, understanding where the Federation base was located, potentially Brazil, South America. And then here we have military base. It's an open Federation base from the original Battle Operation game, but could be originating from Unicorn, the Torrington base. And then we've got military port. It's a coastal facility. It's probably the other half of the Torrington base, potentially. So I kind of like how we can see various aspects of that. So if you were to recreate some of the most badass battles in Gundam animation, Unicorn, you know, you've got the Torrington battle. It's really sick. You could recreate a lot of that here. All right, and here we've got the underground base, which is a really cool looking one, and it evokes a lot of the original Mobile Suit Gundam. So this is that. This is actually that interior of Jaburo, which looks really cool. And this is where you'd see the Gundam versus Sagak battle. And in fact, during the situation battle on this map, one time was so fun. I happened to be the RX-78-2. Someone else was Char Sagak. I forgot how the battle ended. Could have won, could have lost 50-50, but I just remember it was fun clashing like that. And again, having the music set, it helps. Okay, we also have Supply Depot here, which I feel like I've played probably the most, maybe. It's got the underground area, it's got that above ground area, and then even then you can jump. So it's multi-layered. It's actually pretty cool how it works. But this is apparently from a Mobile Suit Gundam Cross Dimension. So this is a story and a game where the Pixy and the Efreet fought. So this is actually a pretty neat, obscure little call out. Also, we got the Resort Development District, based on Deval City from Gundam Hathaway's Flash, which it's pretty neat that they have something like this. I haven't even played this one at all, really. I think those are some mobile suits I'm missing anyway. But yeah, very neat that they have this in here. And here we've got Ravine Canyon Cliffs terrain with waterways, original from GBO1 and also possibly seen in Crossfire and Target Insight. And this is actually used for situation battle. And then we've got the Mass Driver Facility. This is a California base Mass Driver Coastal Industrial Facility layout. And this is also from Blue Destiny, so it probably goes together with the other map we talked about earlier, the port base. I guess that makes sense considering that's kind of a port anyway, right? And then we've got the map Trenches, infamous trenches, where there's trenches everywhere. It doesn't make any sense for mobile suits to be in trenches, but you know what? It's kind of fun that they added it anyway. It all honestly just looks like a destroyed area where beam blasts were just carving through the granite, through the bedrock, whatever, to kind of give it this cool look. But I don't really think it's from anything, unless you have some cool ideas of what it could possibly be. Okay, now we're moving into space, and I gotta say, space is some of my favorite in GBO2, but a lot of times not enough people jump into those games. Also, I prefer space when it's at the higher cost because it can get pretty crazy. Again, a lot of people don't usually jump into that. That's why there's only a few space maps anyway. But we've got Dark Space, which this is just a generic deep space combat zone, but looking carefully, it looks like it's from Stardust memory, so it's very cool to have a space map like this. Resource Satellite. So this is a satellite debris zone from Gundam Unicorn, the Palau asteroid colony, if you remember that. And then we've got Space Fortress Interior. This is probably from the Battle of Baoa, from the original Mobile Suit Gundam, but it's very cool that you can actually get a look inside the Space Fortress. In fact, as you're in it, but you can look out, you can actually see some battles occur. You can see ships fly by that are burning. It's pretty cool stuff. And then we've got the derelict colony based on an abandoned colony structure. This is probably specifically from Gundam Thunderbolt around the time of the fight between the Full Armor Gundam and the Psycho Zaku. So very cool to see this. And then we have the lunar debris belt. So in Mobile Suit Gundam, in Universal Century, we do see debris fields. We see the moon. But what this could be specifically from is the side story Space to End of a Flash, which is from Mobile Suit Gundam Encounters in Space, where you can be the, I think, Gundam Unit 4 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty cool to get that kind of stuff in this. Okay, so anyway, that was a quick run through of all the different maps and what they could be from. I have it down in the description below. Curious if you have any corrections. Did I even miss a map? Because in fact, as I was putting all this together, I would then come across a map. I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about this. And then did some research to see where it could come from. Again, Talos Mobius helped me with a lot of this. But if you have other ideas of where certain maps came from, let me know. And are there maps that don't exist that should? I think it would be very interesting to have something like in Hathaway, where there was that fight where it was like kind of in the upper Earth atmosphere, but there was the ocean below. There might not be a lot of cover. That would be a very interesting map for the Kasai and Penelope to fight on. But anyway, let me know what you think, and shout out to the supporters that make this possible. If that's something you're interested in, check the links in the description below. There's also a link for our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. But yeah, until next time, be cool.